What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Elevating Your Potential podcast, where we enlighten middle school or high school student athletes about the realities of college sports. Why do you actually want to go to college? Do you want to go because your parents taught you? Because your parents or grandparents told you? Do you want to go because you want to play professional sport?
As long as you focus on jobs and careers and classes that stay within this purpose and this mission, rather than a title or an industry or a whatever, you're going to be so much happier in your life.
Talked about having that mindset to get to the NFL. Okay, boom, I made it to college. All I had was NFL. I didn't name the steps in between to get to that step.
Because understanding which one of those options you choose will impact which college you go to, number one, and what you study while you're there. If you're going because you want to go to the pros, your thought process needs to be, I need to go to a system or a place that's going to have me play earlier. If I'm going for academics, I need to go to a highly prestigious school that has what degree program I want to choose, and that will direct your decision making in going to college.
To go there so bad, but I got more caught up in the fact that it was the University of Oklahoma and the sticker on the side of the helmet than that's where I would be happiest at. And so when you visit those schools, you kind of get a real vibe of what fits you best, and that's more so what I would recommend making your decision off of, rather than the logo or it's my dream school or my dad went there or something. You know, I wouldn't recommend that at all.
I think, okay, so being a JUCO, I will say everyone is a lot hungrier than being at D1. Because D1 is like, I made it. Depending on which schools of D1 you go to. You're like, I made it, I'm an athlete, everybody's treating me like a god, because at JUCO, there's 100 to 150 people at your game. So everybody's motivated JUCO. D2, it's a smaller as far as like people that are just hungry. But a lot of these guys, I say they're using it as, hey, I get a free education. Right. I still get that college experience. Let me go.
It's people who just really love the game of football. Like, to be a D3 athlete, to be somebody who literally has to work outside of school to be able to pay for their school, as well as put in the time that every other athlete has to put into their sport. It's something that is just out of this world commitment, basically.
A preconceived notion about JUCO, because I did, and where you're like, oh, it's lesser talent. It ain't lesser talent. It ain't lesser talent at all.
The learning should be fun, and if it's not fun, then you're not doing it right.
Yourself as an athlete, if you're going to be an elite athlete, then you never are satisfied with being second. You're never satisfied with losing. If you take that approach into the classroom, then you'll be a much better you than you started out as. And that's something that is very important as a student athlete.
Out that pressure, the academics, because that's also a very, very good thing to have. And it also, in the long run, you're not thinking about it in high school, you're not really thinking about it in college. But in that long run, if they see, oh, you got an all-district player, but oh, he summa cum laude, magna cum laude, he graduated with high honors. Like, so he took his game on and off the field very serious.
Or you're building one business, which may be, and then for like student athletes, you're constantly doing that, because as a student athlete and academic, your academics, that's your business now. But through the academics and internships, same thing as football, you could be building your next business, which is post-football. But for some people, it is an overwhelming amount of requirements
But the experience was filled with a lot of great times, a lot of great moments, with a lot of great people. But it was also filled with some times that I wasn't depressed, but it was very difficult.
So growing up, I always have been small. It's nothing like people caught up with me or nothing like that. So I always knew that, you know, I had to work a little harder, show coaches a little bit more that I am deserving of whatever I do get. I'm not somebody who is looked at and like, dang, that dude looks great. You know, he looks like a great player. Like, I'm not that guy, but I'm the guy who will work out as hard as I can, every rep, every time I go out.
And so I think it was just going in with that mentality of I'm going to have to work for what I want, and I'm going to have, if I want to play and I want to beat out some of these upperclassmen as a freshman, I'm not just going to walk on the court and they're going to be like, Janelle, we love you.
Right.
I'm going to have to work for it, and I'm going to have to prove being on the court and prove starting over all these other girls who have been playing for longer than I have. So going in knowing that, and knowing that you're going to have a lot of extra work, and it's just embracing it. I think some people, maybe they know that, but they kind of shy away from it, or they just don't want to give the extra effort, which by all means that's your own decision, but then you're just going to have to accept where those circumstances land you, which is going to be in the same position that you were always in.
Well, what I was saying is you need to find something that's going to bring you joy outside of your sport. And sometimes that's just coloring. Like, if you like to color, just take like 30 minutes out of your day and color. If it's meditating, which all the power to y'all if you are meditators, but it's a really difficult thing to do. But if that's something that brings you like peace and calm and allows you to move forward in your sport with vigor and excitement and power, then do that. But each person is going to be different.
5 pieces of advice you would give student athletes out there who want to be a college athlete.
Number one would be like to know who you are.
The second thing would be what you just mentioned, communication.
The next thing is just basically plan and schedule. That's something that I didn't have skills on doing when I was in high school, because everything basically planned out for you. But when you get into college, you do have to make your own schedule. You got to plan your own stuff.
And then the next one is if you could have, I was blessed to have a strong family around me. For those that might not have a strong family like I did, you have to pick your friends. That's your family. And you choose them wisely.
And lastly, I would say just develop and establish relationships.
Would you do it all again?
Like, when I think back on my experience, I don't think back on all of the 6 a.m. workouts that I absolutely hated. I don't think back about that one set of push-ups that I had to do where I was on the verge of crying because it hurt so bad. I think about all the amazing games that I missed, the adrenaline rush. I missed those close sets that we ended up winning. And I just think about all of the good things and successes that came out of that hard work.